Yo, what's up guys? I'm going to be reviewing a video called Here's What Happens When You Have Low Testosterone.
What's going on, man? Where you calling from?
New Jersey.
All right, man. What you got for me?
To make a long story short, I recently turned 24, and I'm living with my mom. Got no job.
Wow, I would have thought that he's in his 30s already.
My confidence is like I got no confidence with dealing with women. Like I got no I
It's not possible for him to naturally, biologically have confidence if most likely his whole life women treated him badly. How could he be confident if he knows the response that he will get from women?
like the thought of just approaching a girl like makes me, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if fearful would be the right word, but like I just can't do it. So
Okay,
it's like,
so let me help you out. Let's start off. Let's stand up and take your shirt off. Let me explain to you why.
all right.
Okay, look at how obese you are.
I like how he straight up says it. Of course, it's true. Still.
I want you to look at yourself in the mirror right now. I want you to have a true moment with yourself. Why the hell would you be confident talking to women looking like that? What?
Right, but the reason he most likely looks like that, that's how it is for most people who let themselves go, as they say, is because of his face. His face is simply not attractive biologically. That's it. Could be bad genetics, could be the food he was fed as a child, probably a combination of both. That's how it is nowadays. And besides that, he's balding weirdly in the front. That's rare to see. And of course, having so much body fat also doesn't help with your overall body, but especially with the face, because it makes it look even more unattractive. It's just impossible for somebody like him to have confidence, as I said.
In the world makes you think that looking like that, you looking at yourself in the screen right now, you're looking at yourself in this mirror image. What in the world would make you think that you should be confident talking to women? You guys think that confidence is something that comes out of...
I guess that you could say that he has some kind of confidence or something like that, or maybe it's just something else. I'm not gonna say it on YouTube because he took off his t-shirt for the video. There's something going on here because most people wouldn't do that.
Thin air. How? You're obese. How tall are you?
5'7" 3/4.
You're 5'7", and what are you, 350 pounds?
322.
Oh, man.
Oh, the height is also... If you're very good looking, it's fine, but if you're bad looking, you're fat, balding, what did he say, he's 24? And then you're also not tall. Poof. That's what I meant before. Guys who are either short or in most cases bad looking in the face will not take care of their whole body anymore, because why should they if the responses from women are always bad? It's the same with girls. Do you ever see handsome guys, models, whatever, who are actually attractive? Not models who used to be attractive and then they are 40 now and they get fat. That's different if they become unattractive because of horrible diets. I'm talking about young models, handsome guys, pretty girls who let themselves go and become fat. Maybe that has happened before, but I've never seen it. It's always, from my experience, bad-looking girls and guys who simply give up, and that's why they become fat or whatever they do to themselves, or they overexercise and become super thin, malnourished looking, all of that. It's always people who generally don't like the way they look like. If you're good looking, then you take care of yourself.
Where's the confidence going to come from, bro?
That's a good question.
Right. So you're not even proud of what you look like. You're not even proud of the man in the mirror.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I meant. He isn't, and that's why he became fat, most likely. Overweight because he tried to fill himself up in some way because of how empty he feels. The same reason guys use steroids to become bigger and bigger. It's never enough. It's all the same mental issues. It all stems from the same problem.
How the hell did you let yourself get to this point? Sit down, sit down, come sit down, come sit down, come sit down. How did you let yourself get to the point where you're 300 pounds and you're 5'7", living with your... How the hell did this happen?
Why do you have to mention that he's 5'7" again? We get it. He's 5'7". As if he let himself become 5'7". No, he's just 5'7". Doesn't have to be completely genetic. Could be that he got bad food as a child. Actually, that's very likely, as we can see.
Well, I would say, just like experiencing trauma through life. For example, right now I don't really have much friends. That's due to my anxiety. Like I'm afraid to talk. It's not even just with girls. Like it's just people in general.
Well, yeah, because the responses are always bad. Nobody looks at you and wants to be friends with you. Women don't find you attractive. How could you then not be anxious when you know that you're about to approach anybody on this earth? How could you not be? You have to be, basically.
Like, I only have a lot of social skills, and I got the traumas, my past.
It doesn't matter what kind of social skills you develop. They will always be fake. You can try to act confident, try to be funny around girls. You can do whatever you want. They are still going to respond to you the same your whole life because of the way you look like. If he would make the best out of his looks, he would lose all of the weight, get a hair transplant, or I don't really know what's going on there. Maybe it would be slightly better than, but not really much. At the end of the day, it is what it is.
I dealt with a lot of trauma.
What trauma? Give me an example of trauma you dealt with.
Like bullying, to be specific.
Okay. Why was you bullying?
High school.
Okay. Is it anything related to your weight?
Yeah, my physical appearance, my weight, the way I look, stuff like that.
So, okay. So what I want you to understand, Kyle, is this. You have to have so much pride in yourself as a man that you're going to be the best version of you. You're going to be prideful of what you look at in the mirror, and other people will treat you based on that pride.
It's nonsense. If you're not good looking, then no matter how much you act, how much so-called pride you have, people will still treat you the same way. You can only act that much. It will only get you that far, which is not very far at all.
What you guys don't understand about human beings is this. Human beings will generally treat you how they feel like you view yourself. You guys look at me, you can tell I'm very confident. People treat me with respect. That's because I have a lot of pride in the way I look. When I take my shirt off, I'm proud of the way I look. When I stick to my word, I'm telling myself why other people should treat me a certain way. I'm setting the standard for myself. If you don't set the standard for yourself, people won't treat you good because they look at you and say, bro, you're fat as fuck. You're not working out. You like, they're like, bro, what are you like? People are literally trying to.
Oh, this is really sad. Look at this guy. It's just over. Look at the way he sits like this with the tilted back. It's just wow. It's pure sadness and depression. It's just bye-bye.
Tell you that you should be doing better. So at what point do you get tired of looking like that, right? Because you looking like that is increasing your cortisol. You have high levels of cortisol, low levels of testosterone. That is naturally going to make you feel more depressed and anxious because you're excess in weight. You're obese. You're not going to feel good about yourself being 320 pounds. So it starts from there. It starts from being sick.
Yeah, but what you have to ask yourself is, where does the weight gain start? If he would be good looking, as I said, then he wouldn't be overweight.
being sick and tired of looking like that. And then what you're going to do is, okay, I'm going to get my body in shape. I'm going to have pride in the way I look. I'm going to get a haircut. Look at your hair, bro. Drop your hair. Why?
What can he do about it? What is a haircut gonna do for him?
You literally have 3 bald spots on your head. Why haven't you gotten a haircut?
It's because he knows that there's just nothing that he can do about the way he looks like at this point. As I said, yes, he can minimally increase his look. Sure, he would look slightly better if he would take care of everything, but facially he will still be the same guy. And no matter how much weight he loses or whatever he does, he will at the very, very best, in the end, look like an average guy. At the very best, probably realistically not even that.
What I used to do fit was I would get a haircut like low so it wouldn't show. But I haven't. I would say it's been like a month or 2 since I got my last haircut.
Okay, Kyle, how often do you masturbate, bro?
I would say once or twice a week.
Okay, that's on the low end or the high end?
I would say about once or twice a week. I used to, when I was younger, I used to do a lot more, but now that I'm older and I've been watching stuff like, the videos you make, I know like it's a bad habit, so I've been trying to cut down on it.
Okay, so why haven't you picked your ass up and gone to a gym?
Well, I actually signed up for a gym, because I haven't gone yet. I signed up like 3 weeks ago, but like I've been procrastinating and being lazy. And
oh my god, this guy doesn't need a gym whatsoever. This guy needs to start eating what humans eat in nature, wherever his ancestors are from. People in Africa still eat a lot of raw meat. They eat a lot of meat in general. They eat organs. This is what he should be eating. If he would be eating like the Maasai, for example, drinking blood, then he would get back to a normal body weight. The working out is simply going to burn even more calories, which is a quicker way to do it, but a more stressful way. It's going to make you look even older.
How can you afford to be lazy when you're invisible? You're literally invisible to people. People don't notice you. The women you want don't notice you. How in the world doesn't that piss you off? You're living with your arms. You're not having sex. When's the last time you had sex?
I would say,
be honest, a lot of
I would say 2019, but even I wouldn't even count that, because like that was like I went to, my family's from Jamaica. We went to Jamaica and we went to like a strip club or whatever, and so I wouldn't even count that.
The last piece of booty you got was one you paid for.
Yeah.
Okay, and before then?
Nope.
Never. So you're essentially a virgin.
I would say, yeah, technically.
Okay, how in the world, Kyle, does this not piss you off?
That's a good question.
How? Like if I'm a man, and as tough as life is, as hard as life is as a man, I'm invisible. Women don't even notice me. I haven't had sex that I didn't pay for. I would be doing everything in my power. How the fuck could I be? What I would suggest, maybe you need to go get your testosterone checked, because there's no way. You have to have low T. You have to, because
how do I do that?
You go to a clinic, a testosterone clinic, and you let them test your testosterone. You let 20.
A testosterone clinic? Is there such a thing? Anyway, you can do it at any doctor, at least where I come from.
24 years old, there's no way you should be in this position and you're okay with it. What city do you live in?
I live in New Jersey.
So are you close to New York?
Right next to New York.
All those women, all those beautiful women you can have access to. You just don't even want them.
Maybe some are beautiful, that may be true, but I would still stay away from New York City women. There's just no point whatsoever.
That's crazy. That shit ain't funny, bro. You shouldn't be laughing. You should be pissed off. You should be crying. When I say that shit, you should be like, fuck, I'm upset. I should go do better. There's no laughter that should come out of you. You should be angry. That's the problem. You're not angry enough about where you are. So you just like, oh.
How can he be? His biochemistry is based on his diet. I can assure you that his diet is horrible. It just has to be. If he would change his diet, he would change biochemically. If he would start eating raw meat, actually killing his own animals, then he would feel way different.
Well, Fit says do this, do that, and yeah, it sounds great. But once I'm done this conversation, I'm gonna go back to being a loser. Like you got to say, you know what? Today's the day. I'm tired of this. I'm gonna get in good shape. I'm gonna get a haircut. I'm gonna start going to the gym. I'm gonna start applying for jobs. Why the hell are you living with your mom when you haven't applied for a job yet?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've never been on my own, so it's like, but I think you're right. I think it's about time I left.
24. At what point you going? At what point you going to start? At what point? 30? 35?
Yeah.
Hey, bro, you gotta listen. I can't make you a better man. Where's your father?
Passed away.
Okay. When did he pass away?
2019.
Okay. Sorry about your loss. So 2019, it seemed like everything just went down the shit for you.
Yeah. After that, yeah.
Okay. So.
Oh yeah, that would mess you up a lot. Makes even more sense now.
Was your father heavily in your life?
Here and there. He actually lived in Jamaica, so I would visit him. Like he wouldn't come over here. So every summer I would go.
For some reason, I thought that his father was the one who made him lose his virginity in a strip club. I just somehow thought so. It was definitely the case then because it happened in Jamaica.
And spend some time with it. For Phil, I want to ask you something, right? So, all right. So let's start with the hair, right? So do you think that I should try to do something about it? Or do you think I should just get a haircut and maintain my haircut and keep it like that? Or like, what do you think I should do?
You got so many different problems right now. That's the least of them. They drop your hair, drop it. Like you're bald. So like you got a severe bald spot. I would say if you want to just try to keep it, maybe try to grow it out for as long as possible and see if it can cover some of the bald spot. But you're generally going to have to just go bald. You're going to have to just cut it all off. You need to start going to the gym. All right, so you can lose your 322 pounds. You need to lose.
Man, these horrible recommendations by these guys. Going to the gym is going to raise your cortisol even more, which is going to make you look older. It's going to lower your testosterone. Besides, you already depleting your testosterone in the gym as it is. This guy just needs to start eating naturally. That's it. If you coincidentally see this video, man, really look at what your ancestors used to eat and still eat today.
To lose almost 100 pounds. That shit, not just 100, over 100. You got to lose like 150 pounds. That is a task that I need.
Super easy. Start eating raw meat or rarely cooked meat. Eat almost only animal products. Maybe some fruits here and there if you crave something sweet, but stay low carb for the most part, and you will lose the weight. It's just as simple as that. Your body will return to its natural state.
You to take on today, right? Because listen, you haven't had sex ever. Let's not count the stripper in Jamaica. You are not gonna get no ass. There's no girl that's gonna look at you and be like, "Yep, I'm gonna pick him." Not a chance. So you should get angry, not angry at the world. Don't turn into an incel. Don't turn into one of these guys who hates women.
Incels are not people who hate women or who are angry. It's just involuntary celibates. Of course, it could make you angry, understandably.
You're going to turn into a guy that takes action every single day. If you sign up for a gym, start going to it. I need you to be applying for jobs every single day. Work somewhere.
Go in person or online?
Yeah, online. Who the hell gonna hire you to work online? You need to go get it. You need to get a regular job. You don't have no income. You gotta start there.
I mean, like apply online or like go in person with my resume?
In person, bro, but online.
Oh my God, man. This guy really needs a father, obviously, naturally, which he doesn't have. Rest in peace. But he just needs somebody to lead him because he's weak. He's biochemically weak. That's the best way to describe him. He doesn't have motivation to do anything. He cannot do anything by himself. These are the people who follow, usually blindly. They just can't decide anything for themselves. It's just anti-men, which are most men on earth today. Maybe not as severely as him, although...
You need to go online and in person. You need to go start applying for some jobs. I need you to be in the gym 4 days a week. I need you to be doing an hour of cardio every single day. Every time that
Yeah, cardio 4 times a week in the gym, but what about his diet? If he's gonna be eating fast food, grain-based products, then he will still keep spiking his insulin and making his health worse overall. You're not helping anybody with this advice of going to the gym.
you don't want to do it. Every time you want to sit down and do nothing, think about all the women that don't even notice you, should piss you the fuck off. All right, bro?
I really appreciate it, Fit.
All right, man. Get to work, bro.
Oh my God, man. This guy really needs somebody to show him the right path, the natural path to health. That's how you would lose weight, as I said. This guy just says, get a haircut and go to the gym. How is that going to help him? It cannot help him. Even if he loses some weight, and it's not going to be much realistically because he's still going to be biochemically the same guy, then how is his life going to turn around? You can actually change as a human being if you really start eating naturally. It's the diet that has to change in this case. There was no mentioning of any kind of food in this video because the guy himself, most likely on the left, doesn't eat a good diet. Probably just what bodybuilders typically eat, some chicken, rice, and broccoli, which is a flower. Yeah, maybe some green leaves. Of course, these people cannot give you good diet, nutritional advice. Yeah, but this is what happens. They are lost. They don't know what to do with their lives. Then they find these kind of guys on YouTube who talk about women because women and the family, children, reproduction is what they naturally want. And then they really start believing that this guy has the answer to that, when in reality, he may not be as lost as the guy on the right, but he's also lost. He also doesn't understand at all what life is actually about. How can he? He maybe sleeps around with women, and that's about it. Maybe his life is not as empty, maybe, but it's still obviously very empty. This guy needs to start eating raw meat dishes, even if they are from a restaurant, to get used to it, seeing as humans are so denatured, cultivated at this point. Then he needs to start slaughtering his own animals, drinking blood, eating liver, brain, spleen, all the organs, glands, to really become a biochemically healthy human being. There is just no way around it. It's just impossible to be happy and healthy if you don't do that. It's just impossible. The closest that you can get to that is by eating a fake cooked carnivore diet. You will feel pretty alright, but you will never feel the way you naturally should feel. The ultimate way a human being is supposed to feel. There is no other way to achieve it. I wonder if it's even possible for him to realize this, or if he's too far gone. If he would listen to me, he would probably think that it's insane what I'm saying, which means that it's correct, of course, because seeing as most people on Earth are insane, everything that's correct sounds insane to them. You can always know if you're promoting something natural and people say that it's insane, that what you're saying is correct. Thanks for watching.